Peace, love, life, and healing, Angela. Good to see you. Yeah, so I went live a little bit early today. It's like, I don't know, my spirit is, I feel a quickening in my spirit, and I just kind of want to get this over. Um, it's a lot going on in the realm, and so, yeah, I'm feeling a lot going on as far as the warfare, and then also, my own ascension and everything else that's going on. And it's like, it's so much going on that I felt like, let me write down some of the things that I want to talk about, because there are a lot of distractions. So I want you guys to beware of allowing yourselves to be distracted. Um, because what we're getting ready to do, those of us who have been doing the work, is that we're becoming a vibrational match to, or we're if because what has been happening with me is that I've been fasting, and this has been unintentionally, just really not having an appetite, not wanting to put certain things in my body, not even the fruit on some days, just spring water. Um, and this is just happening because I know that my spirit is doing this, preparing for an even greater shift. And like I said, becoming a vibrational match to your higher self, a higher upgraded version of yourself. And I wanted to come to remind you guys that as you are doing this, when you do get to this point, there will be, again, as we get to every level and we're getting ready to go to the next level, the distractions and that these challenges come. So I want to remind everyone not to be distracted by any person, place, or thing, okay, in 3D, and to be prepared for people, places, and things to be used as a distraction, or a source of, agitation for you on your path. Okay, because we have worked way too hard to achieve the peace of mind that some of us have. Okay, and so it's very important now to protect that peace. And so this is really about honoring yourself, because as you are honoring the self, you are honoring the God within you. And so it is of utmost importance that we love ourselves, which is why the name of the game, for the past few years, and it will be for everyone who gets to this part of their path, is self-love. And so the part of it that I would like to illuminate is why self-love is so important, is because you are literally a living vessel for the spirit of the Most High. And so this is why you must love yourself, because the self, the truest identity, is that indwelling spirit within you. And so you have been charged with protecting that spirit, meaning that you don't allow anyone to quench or grieve that spirit within you. And if anyone on your path begins to do that, you should have no problem with severing that tie. Anyone that is quenching or grieving the spirit within you is against God. And so off with their heads. This is about you having your experience in honor of the God within you. Meaning that you must make your own peace a priority above being a people pleaser, above being, living up to someone else's expectations, above becoming someone else's idea of who you should be. We were never instructed by our compassionate creator to do that. So a lot of us need that perception correction to even understand what our purpose here is. I'm talking to my empaths, my star seeds, my light workers, not the ones who only talk about being an empath and a star seed and a light worker, but those of you who really are working that light within you and illuminating the darkness wherever you go. Salute, because I know that it's not an easy job, and I know that it's a thankless job. But the divine is thankful. This will become very apparent in the upcoming weeks, months, and years. Prioritize your peace of mind above all else and do it unapologetically. You don't owe your peace to anyone but God. That's all that the indwelling spirit is asking you for, is to create a peaceful environment in which I can rest and manifest and be great. Cooperate with me in a way that's going to make everyone happy. The indwelling spirit is saying, let your will be my will, and let our will be one. Because I live in your heart, and your heart is the part of you that feels joy. And so in order to feel that joy in your heart, your mind has to cooperate. And yet there are those who use their free will to not cooperate. These are the unfillables, the empty seaters, the godless beings that walk the earth, and they are against the creator of all things. So I want to say a word regarding spiritual gifts. And so I did put the scripture, the beginning of the scripture that I'm going to refer to is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. This is 1 Corinthians 12, verse 4, concerning spiritual gifts. There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. Meaning that there are levels to these gifts, okay? And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh in all, meaning that everyone uses their gift in a different way. But the gift came from the same God. The manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit with. For no one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom. For to one is given by the word. For one to get is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit. So knowledge and wisdom are not the same things. That's important to understand, because you have your teachers that are teaching knowledge, and then you have your teachers who are teaching wisdom. They both have their place, and they are both operating by the same Spirit. And yet they both have a different administration. They have a different function. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another the faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these worketh that one, but in all these worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man as he will. Meaning that there are diversities of gifts, there are levels to this, and there are different functions. So everyone has a different gift. Everyone's gift has been uniquely shaped and formed according to that person's, or let me rephrase that and say that the personality of the person who is holding the gift has been uniquely shaped and formed in a way that they're going to be able to use that gift in the most beneficial way. So for me, for instance, it is my throat, amongst other things, that has been activated in the supernatural. So it is my voice that is carrying a very unique tone and vibration. It is my voice, even more so than my hands, that is transmitting the healing. So I'm saying that to say this is that there are people who don't have gifts, because not everyone out here is the good wheat that God planted in his garden. Some of the people are tares. Some of these people are empty inside. They don't have a relationship with an indwelling spirit. Some people don't even have an indwelling spirit, unfortunately. In case y'all didn't know, there are man-made people out here. Okay? And these man-made people are quote unquote made in all sorts of different ways. But God's people operate by the Spirit in very unique ways. And so don't allow these people who are not filled with the Spirit, who have no understanding, let alone a relationship with the Spirit, to try to tell you how to use your gift, when and where to use your gift, or whether or not you should use your gift. Your guide is internal. So you don't need direction from people who only read about the God that you have had a relationship with for your entire incarnation. It's time to take your authority over your own thoughts, emotions, words, and deeds. And stop trying to fit into the pre-made boxes that the world made for you. And love yourself enough to actually be yourself. I just said something. All of the world is a stage, and everyone is playing a role. And the more discerning that you are, the more apparent that this is to you. Even the closest people to you are playing a role and working very hard, some of them, the narcissistic ones, okay, work very hard to portray an image that is not the truth. And this is how this whole world became an illusion. Because most of the people here cannot handle the truth. Lies have become so accepted and so expected that the truth speaker is offensive. The truth speaker is controversial. The truth speaker is not welcomed. The truth speaker makes most people uncomfortable. The divine is not pleased with this situation because all the world is a stage, meaning that everything that you see about most people is an illusion. Pandora's box, the onion, the matryoshka dolls, the unraveler's knot. Why am I hearing Forrest Gump? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. That was cute. Correct. So honor yourself so that you don't regret, not enjoying your life because you were so busy trying to become someone else's idea of who you should be, and so busy trying to make your life, look like someone else's idea of what it should look like. Love yourself enough to just be you. And also to give yourself the same patience and love and forgiveness and kindness and understanding that you give everyone else. This is what true self-love looks like as you are ascending to become a vibrational match to a higher version of you. It's your life, okay? You don't owe it to anyone else. You owe it to you to live your life your way on your own terms, even if that means being your own best friend. This means learning your own love language and speaking it to yourself. I said what I said. It means being there for you every time you need you. Because a lot of empathic people don't even realize that you neglect yourselves in your tireless efforts to take care of everyone else. And the spirit within you is asking for some of that love and attention. You deserve your own love and attention. So learn your own love language. Speak that to yourself. Show up for you the way you always show up for everyone else. And love that indwelling spirit, that part of you that is a unique personality, a unique swag, you know what I'm saying, has its own unique energy, frequency, and vibration, to just be free. That's honoring the God within you. It's just allowing that seed of uniqueness, that unique spark of God that you are, to unravel in a natural way, like a wildflower. Because the code for what it was to become was already written into it. And all you have to do is plant it in fertile soil and nurture it. It already knows what it is to become. But a lot of us, we have allowed the environment, our parents, the school, the religion, all of these things to shape our personality. And these are the things that must be shed on the path to self-realization, because once again, self-realization is making the self real. Terrence is a man. Peace, Terrence is a man. What's up? So, self-realization is making the self real and identifying the self as that indwelling spirit. It means making the God within you real, meaning allowing that indwelling spirit to be free, to just be who I naturally am without trying to conform to the world, without trying to be someone else's idea of who I should be, without trying to make my life look like someone else's idea of what it should look like. Narcissists, they love to name drop and have all these titles and all of these, wear robes and crowns and, things that don't even fit, because narcs never do the work to sit in the thrones that they try to claim as their own. They never do the work. They just want to be the boss over people whose job that they don't even know how to do. Narcissistic people have delusions of grandeur. They are extremely ungrateful. They are the swine that you were told not to cast your valuables to, because they would trample over your valuables and then turn around to attack you. I know that many of you have experienced giving all of your valuables, all of your love and your time and your attention, even your happiness and your joy and your peace, to someone who trampled all over it and then turned around to attack you. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to the No Narc Network. So, understand that the enemies of God, the goal has always been to steal, kill, and destroy. Felicia, I see you in the building, babe. Good to see you. So, the goal of the enemy is to steal, kill, and destroy. What do they want to steal? They want to steal those gifts that I just spoke of. And they want to alter your destiny. They want to take your destiny. So, divine beings, correct me if I'm wrong, but especially my divine feminines, there is a phenomenon of people copying the divine feminine. They want your swag. They want your personality. They even want to tell the same story that you told. If I said, I shape-shifted into a wolf one time, because that was one of my stories, and then I turn around and a couple of days later, someone else is saying they shape-shifted into a wolf. This is a true story. Okay. The other day, the last time that I was live, I said, what did I say? I said something about me being, God's favorite, and me not caring about people not liking me for saying that. And then just today, I hear that same person that took my wolf story and took a lot of the words out of my mouth saying, I'm sure that that's the person that just left. But that same person today turned around and said that they are the Most High's favorite. So the only reason I'm mentioning this is because there is a phenomenon, because I know that I'm not the only one who goes through this. The devil, everything that God makes, there is a dark replica of it. So understand this. And this is why people fear tarot readers and people like that, because there is a dark side to it. But just as there is a dark side to religion, with all of these so-called religious people and holy people, taking children's innocence, okay, in the sanctuary. There is a dark side to everything, because we, in the 3D realm, is a realm of duality. And so the scripture that I read, I want to go back a little bit further because this is 1 Corinthians 12. And before he began to tell them about the diversities of gifts, he was talking about how they were Gentiles and how they were carried away to these dumb idols, even as they were led. So he was basically saying was that when they had gone over to Egypt, that there were people who were misusing the spiritual gifts. Okay. And he was letting them know that he said, wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of God will call Jesus cursed. Okay. So what he was saying is that these people who are claiming to move by the Spirit of God would be coming up against another person who is operating by the Spirit of God. Okay, so what he was trying to tell them is how to know the difference. He wasn't telling them not to operate in your gifts. He was saying anyone who is, he was telling them how to know who truly is operating in the gifts and who is out here fronting like they're operating in the gifts. Because the devil's co-workers, all of them out here fronting and lying and playing roles. Literally, some of them playing dress up. Mr. Terrence is a man. Literally playing dress up all day, every day, and playing roles. You know, there was a girl in school that I wanted to be like, so I'm just going to become her. And if you try to intrude upon my delusion, I'm gonna try to take your life because you're trying to take my life. This is how the narcissist thinks. I know this for a fact because I study Sam Vaknin, Dr. Sam Vaknin, who is a self-proclaimed malignant narcissist, who will explain that the narcissist has built their entire identity from delusions. So basically, the narcissist has become the mask that they're wearing. They really believe the mask to be him. Mr. Terrence is a man. The narcissist has been consumed 100% by the ego, and the narcissist has become their ego. They have become their shadow. Satan is the shadow of God. I said what I said. So for every divine being that has been created, the shadow is going to create a dark replica. It may try to look and act like you, but they can't steal your soul, though. That's the part that's missing. Empty cedars, godless beings, unfillables. I ain't fooling with you. I'm not fooling with you. So, I just want to prepare you guys for the challenges as you go forward on this path. Understand that there are going to be people mimicking you and copying you because they want to steal your gifts. They want to transfer your energy into them. These are literal body snatchers, okay? They if they could, they would transfer your energy and your essence into that empty vessel of theirs. And they would become you. That's their greatest wish. Because see, Satan always wanted to be God. And so that's the same spirit. It's a very familiar spirit. I want y'all to get familiar with it. I want you to recognize it in every empty vessel that approaches you, hosting this dark shadow. So I want you to know that, as you're going to this next level, because you will overcome whatever challenges that you're facing as you are ascending to become a vibrational match to your higher self. You will overcome that. And then when you get to the next level, expect new challenges, because this is how we grow. So I want you to know that going forward, the faith that brought you this far is the same faith that's going to take you the rest of the way. It is your most powerful weapon on this path. Your faith in that indwelling spirit that will never leave you is going to help you defeat every challenge going forward. Even the enemies that you cannot see, and the snakes slithering in the grass that think that you won't take that sword and chop their fucking head off. The one smiling in your face and planning your demise. So understand that the faith that has gotten you this far is going to carry you the rest of the way. And that what is yours, what was ordained as yours by divine right, will find you. No one can thwart you from your destiny. The devil is a lie. So the reason why these people copy you is because they're trying to duplicate your very unique energy signature. So you know how they clone people, and they got these man-made people, these godless beings out here doing the devil's work? Yeah, they try to clone you energetically. You know what I'm saying? They try to copy your energy, copy your essence. It's disgusting and also impossible. They can't steal your soul, my people. Not unless you just give it to them. This is the whole principle behind people trying to sell their souls, okay? Your soul is of utmost importance, and it is of great value. It is priceless. This is why they try to set it up in the business to where they literally try to buy people's souls because they don't have one. Why would you need to buy somebody else's soul if you had one of your own? You know what I'm saying? Why would you be trying to copy someone else's whole vibe if you was a whole vibe of your own? So to understand the mysteries of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And this is what they're trying to duplicate: your own personal, specific, unique energy, frequency, and vibration. But that which has already been written cannot be altered. And what is yours by divine right will be yours. So they're wasting their time, but my advice to you is not to allow them to waste your time. See, the narcissists, that's what I realized a long time ago. Narcs, they be 60, 70 years old, and they're still doing the same thing they was doing when they was like 20 years old. And so they've wasted their whole lives. They waste their time because they really don't have a purpose. They know that it is their destiny to self-destruct in the end. And so the only thing that they can do while they're here is to steal from you, try to kill your dreams and everything the good that's growing and blossoming in your life, or to destroy you and everything good that you're trying to obtain. That's their only purpose. They do not have the capacity to consume the fruits of the spirit. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Can a narcissist receive your love? Can they receive peace? Can they receive joy? Or do they get angry when they see you experiencing these things? I'll wait. They don't have the ability. They experience what we call the demonic emotional palette. Jealousy, anger, rage, and fear. Those are the only emotions that a narcissist is capable of feeling. Which is why they work so hard to bring you down when you rise to higher vibrations. Because they have not been given the ability, because they belong to the most low and you belong to the most high. And this is the time of the harvest where those that are of the light are being separated from the darkness. And the darkness is desperate right about now. So be not distracted from your path by no foolishness from a narc, a psychopath, a sociopath, or a borderline personality disorder. These are all levels of demonic possession. And this is war. Watch for the snakes slithering around your ankles and through your grass. And listen for the double talk and the cognitive dissonance that they all seem to have. That which has already been written as your destiny cannot be altered, Divine One. And what is yours by divine right will find you if you clear the way and don't allow anyone to block your blessings or to cause you to block your own blessings by lowering your vibration to defend yourself against accusations, lies, whatever a narc might try to throw at you at this moment. Don't feed the narcs. It's all mind games. It's all tricks. They don't have the ability to rise above those four emotions. So you win the war, Divine One, by simply rising above the influence of the narcissist, by not rolling around in the mud with the pigs, but by flapping your wings and continuing to ascend. See, the narcissist's job in the most low, his only tool, his greatest tool, is lies, deception, and illusions. That is his domain. And so in a world of illusions that have been created using the minds of the people who are mostly unconscious, who don't seem to even care what's happening with that other 90% of their brain that they are not using. It is possible that someone else might be using it. Is it possible? The illusion in which we live, or we find our consciousness at times, is so grand. And the challenges that are presented, like at the end of each video game level, when you're getting ready to go to the next level and that biggest challenge must be faced, that challenge is so great because the goal of it is to prevent you from seeing the truth that's going to set you free from the whole matrix altogether. Okay? And so this is why the challenge is so great. This is why the warfare is so great. This is why the darts are flying from all sides at this moment, because the most low is desperate because him and his empty vessels, his co-workers, are about to get left behind. See, they couldn't get right, so they got to get left. It's time to set clear boundaries with these people, because you cannot bring them with you. Now, you can choose to stay behind with them if you choose to stay in misery, because misery loves company. That's why they're trying to trigger you into these emotions to begin with. They don't have a choice but to dwell in misery. But you do. This requires you to know how to control your emotions, so that your emotions is no longer the toy in the hand of the narcissist that they are playing with. Control your emotions. If you know that a person is lying, then don't feel the need to defend yourself against it. Don't even acknowledge something that is not the truth. It takes discipline. Gaining control over your emotions disarms the devil. Trusting your indwelling spirit above all else disarms the devil. Knowing all of their emotional manipulation tactics and all of their personality traits disarms the devil, because you have learned the art of war, and now no weapons that they form against you shall prosper. And a lot of you will be tested. So it may be a friend, a family member, someone close to you who's going to try and push your buttons if it hasn't already happened or been happening. They are coming. And remember, I told you these people are possessed and don't know it. So yes, it will be the people closest to you being used by the most low to try and trigger you into a low enough emotion where you are within his reach. Don't fall for it. You were giving discernment so that you could be clear on where to set clear boundaries with people and which people to set those boundaries with. You are not obligated, again, to become anyone's idea of who you should be. So, for those of you who have been allowing yourselves to be controlled by other people's expectations, I'm going to need you to take your power back. We don't do weakness in the kingdom. Beware of narcs using emotional manipulation to try to make you feel guilty for loving yourself, for honoring yourself, for not bending to their will or their expectations. Don't allow them to pressure you into not honoring yourself. You've already been there and done that. But these tests are going to come to make sure that you have fully learned this lesson before you are allowed to ascend. You owe it to yourself to be happy, And if doing for other people is taking away from you and your happiness, don't do it. You owe it to yourself to be happy. So don't allow other people to take advantage of you, because these are people who don't have their own light, and all of they're doing is sucking up yours. These people don't have a unique energy, frequency, and vibration. They're unfillables. They're empty. So they tend to, go with the status quo. If you notice a narcissist, their personality changes every time they get around another person who is more charismatic than the last one. Okay, you will notice that they change their religions, they change their whole life philosophy, they change their stories, they change their accents, because they don't have a self, that indwelling spirit that is unique and unlike anyone else. They don't have that spark of God within them, so they really don't know who they are. A narc don't know whether they coming or going. Their whole life story that they're telling people is made up of a bunch of bits and pieces of stories that they've heard other people tell. Their personality is made up of bits and pieces of other people's personalities. They are empty vessels, unfillables, godless beings. So hide your light, protect your light, because this is their goal, is to take it. They want to take your gifts, your life story, and your very essence. Stop hiding your light from the world, because that's why you're here. You were strategically placed in your geographical location to illuminate that particular area. And the way that you illuminate it is by living your truth, standing in it, and being very clear about what you will and will not tolerate. Lest your kindness be taken for weakness and your light be dimmed. Self-love and self-care are the name of the game going forward, because you are a host unto God. Be unapologetically you and love yourself unapologetically. See, a narc will try to make you feel guilty about loving yourself. They will sit there and say, I don't care how many times you have adjusted yourself and you know what I'm saying, and tried to do everything to make them happy. These people are miserable. They're the most miserable beings that you can ever run across, and they are insatiable. So no matter what you do for them, they're never going to be happy. They're always uncomfortable, always readjusting, always got some drama going on, always just got something going on, because their energy, frequency, and vibration is very unnatural and against all that is good and perfect in this universe. Narcissism is not just antisocial personality disorder, but these people are antisocial order. So whatever is right and exact, these people are designed to be against that. I just said something. Their whole purpose for existing is to cause chaos, to kill, steal, and destroy. Understand that. Because my goal is to clearly identify your enemy in this spiritual warfare, so that you do something about it. The greatest thing about this life is that you get to create your own. You don't owe any part of your creation to anyone else. And a lot of people are just now realizing that, and we have allowed other people to create portions of our lives for us through influencing us with their opinions. And, a lot of us became like them, got married and had that boring ass life where you just come home and you cook and you eat and you get cheated on and all just and you just started growing old and you stopped in all of your experiences of, what I'm saying, being free and still continuing to grow and learn more about the self. All of these ideas of what our lives were supposed to look like that have been planted into our minds by God knows who. We're all designed to distract you from the true path that you were meant to be walking. And anyone in denial is in denial due to the fact that they can't accept that they were actually distracted from their path. So they're going to say, no, this is my path. Yeah, it's your path now because it's where you are. And of course, anywhere you are, you made it your path. But was it the path that God laid for you? Was it the path that is lit for you? And is it the path that's going to lead you to your divinity? It's the path that makes you feel more and more human every day, more and more ordinary every day, more and more cookie cutter, Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Jones every day. So is it the path that is leading you to your divinity? Because there's a scripture that says there is a way that seems right unto man, but in the end thereof are the ways of death. Is the path leading you to your divinity, or is it leading you to your death? And I mean a spiritual death, because there are many people walking around who believe themselves to be living and they're just existing. Like, what happened to your soul? I can't connect with it. I don't see anything. It's like they're sleepwalking. So that's not living. When the spirit within you rises and you acknowledge that spirit, then that spirit comes to the forefront that you might have life more abundantly. Not an ordinary life in which you are sleeping and only dreaming that you are living, dreaming about a life. So yeah, most people are lost within a dream within a dream. And you can't tell them that they're not awake. So I just wanted to, because a lot of you have done a tremendous amount of work on yourself, and you've gone through literal hell to get here, to this place where you're becoming a vibrational match to your higher self, and you made it. Congratulations. Now take the time to embrace this new level of awareness and celebrate. Celebrate your victory over the illusion. The devil is a lie. Celebrate having eyes that see through the illusion. Celebrate you, because You are unlike anyone else. The cornerstone that the builders rejected. The one they're going to be looking for when those towers begin to fall. Take time to embrace this new level of self-awareness and self-love. Celebrate yourself. Love on yourself in the same way that you have loved on others. From this point forward, if you follow your internal guide, you have nothing to worry about. You will find yourself experiencing serendipity more and more. Like me, every day when I leave my house, I see synchronicities. Every day. Every day, all sorts of serendipitous things happen, meaning that I find myself in the right place at the right time because Spirit has taken the wheel. Serendipity is a manifestation of Spirit. Now, I don't even know why I'm about to say this, but it's because my spirit just brought to my awareness that somebody's going to be trying to use the word serendipity now. Okay. Certain people like certain things that you say, and they just, oh, let me try to act like, I've been saying it. And it's annoying because, again, it's just because it's indicative. It's like a familiar spirit, and the way that it operates is just disgusting. Like, damn, your father, the devil, didn't give you no type of creativity or originality. That's pretty disgusting. And it must be miserable to have to what kind of it's like, what's in their minds if all they say is something they copy from everyone else. And so, I don't see why anyone would think that it's going to benefit them to go work for the darkness, because the darkness has nothing to give you but illusions. Meaning that, he'll give you a cake, but then he's going to tell you can't eat it. That's where the whole term, you think you can have your cake and eat it too? Yeah, that came from the devil. That cake was an illusion. Okay. But if you follow your eternal guide, you're always going to find yourself in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Serendipity becomes an everyday experience for you. You live in that energy of serendipity. It's of the divine. So just allow Spirit to take the wheel and enjoy the ride, because that's what it is from here on out. And then when it comes to, anything that appears to be something that you can't have or can't, obtain, it is definitely because you're not meant to have it at this point. Spirit has taken the wheel. So if there's anything that your love or your hard work cannot give you access to, you're not supposed to have access to it. And you have to trust Spirit when it comes to that. Okay, I just said something. If your love or your hard work cannot grant you access to any person, place, or thing that you are trying to obtain, it was not meant for you. Let it go. And for the narcs out here, because they are going to begin to self-destruct. And I want you guys to pay very close attention, because I was just speaking on people copying. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they love to do. And a lot of them, the ones who are to the level of, psychopath and sociopath, they're very good at it. They're excellent actors and actresses. They're excellent memorizers and regurgitators. Okay. And what's going to start happening with them is that, because there's a lot of false teachings out here, false prophets and all kind of falseness out here. Okay. And what they're going to do is because they like to take things and run with it so quick. They're going to be hearing all of this new information with all these false teachings and stuff coming out. And they're going to be taking this false information and they're going to be running with it. Okay. And they're going to self-destruct. In their attempt to steal, kill, and destroy, they're going to self-destruct. So before you receive a word or follow a belief system, be sure that it has come from a foundation of unconditional love. Otherwise, it is not of God. And a lot of these people who have been just out here taking something from somebody else and teaching it as their own and regurgitating things that out of books and all of this, not really getting downloads directly from spirit like God's people do. These people are going to be falling on their own swords. They're going to self-destruct for being false prophets. I don't know if y'all, how much you guys know, but I remember that in the lake of fire, the false prophet was thrown right into the fire with Satan. I just said something. Don't be misled or misguided by these false teachers, these false prophets, these self-proclaimed masters. Okay, and all of these people name dropping and throwing titles. Pay attention to their movements. Like, are they even stable? Because a person who's they're not stable. Because if you pay attention to him, like Nature Boy, for instance, okay, he would change religions like every 6 months. And he would change accents and he would change everything because he doesn't know who he is. And there's a million Nature Boys out here. A million narcs. More than a million. So I want you to start watching these people because they're going to begin to drop like flies. It's a changing of the guards. And the illusion is being replaced by the truth. So don't be so quick to memorize and regurgitate something that sounds good. From that desire to take other people's intellectual property and run with it. That desire, that same desire, will be the same desire by which many narcissists are going to self-destruct. Narcs are more concerned with pleasing men than they are with pleasing God. This is why they fall on their own swords at the end. And this is why they self-destruct, because the narcissist doesn't really believe in God. So they manipulate people who do believe in God. They think it's a fairy tale and they don't understand that at the time of the harvest, whether you believe or not, every tongue will confess and every knee will bow to the Most High. They use it to adorn themselves with, and they, to sound good and to look good, but they don't really believe. These are the main ones. These are non-believers. They don't believe. So when they, talk to someone that says that they have a direct relationship with God, they don't really believe you. They don't believe that there will be repercussions for lying and misleading people and all of your selfish, ugly ways that you think no one sees. But the joke is on you because God is looking through your eyes. So there is nothing that you have done or said or thought about that you can hide from the indwelling spirit. more than pleasing men, empath, starseed, lightworker, be concerned with protecting your light. Okay? Because that is the trophy. Okay? That is the trophy in this spiritual war. Okay? I just want y'all to be clear about that. That yes, that it's your gifts, it's your essence, it's your light. Okay? It's your swag, your charisma. Okay? All of that they want. Your very essence that the enemy is after. That spark of God that you carry inside of you as your source and supply, that has given you your talents, your unique spiritual gifts, your walk, your talk, your swag. It's the reason why they're jealous of you, the reason why they hate on you and copy you at the same time. It's your uniqueness, your personality, your divinity. What they don't understand is that you have been through pure hell to get here. And so I'm sure you'll be damned if anybody thinks that they're going to take it. You have been tried by fire and rose from the ashes that others were consumed by. It takes extreme courage to love truly, to live fully, and to truly be yourself. Most people can't do that. But for those of you who have been able to do that, call your power back, because they're trying to take your light. Call all of your power back. Own your own light. Be unapologetically who you are. You have not been called to conform to this world. You are being transformed. And the days of giving your power away are over. The people of God are beginning to be blessed for walking your walk and talking your talk and being your true self. And you need to separate yourself from the jealous-hearted, narcissistic people who are going to try to take your blessings away from you. You have been being warned the whole time to sever the ties and to cleanse and to purge. And the enemy has been identified. So if you still have these people around you in any capacity, it's time to cut them off, because otherwise the universe is not going to release your blessings. What the universe needs is for you to focus on what you want, not what everyone else wants you to want or wants you to do or to be, but what you want, so that the universe can reconfigure itself to bring it to you. For such is the power of God's prophets and God's anointed. So prepare for a renewing of your mind as the codes for the magic in your DNA are being unlocked. And the old you is unraveling. I'm seeing the world card in the tarot deck, which is the completion of a cycle of hypnotic rhythm when it comes to humanity. What is unraveling is the old programs that you have been running on since the beginning of time. What's happening is the breaking of chains and strongholds that have been on the divine bloodlines of the people of God. Call your power back. A lot of you have energetic cords connected to traumas in your past. Forgiveness will sever that energetic cord. Forgiveness will cut the energetic cords binding you to past trauma. I just said something. It's time to release all of that, because I told y'all you can't bring those things into the higher realms. Nobody in the higher realms is carrying trauma, pain, or fear in their hearts. So take the time to heal like I did. Heal to the point where you are able to truly forgive, because forgiveness will release the spiritual gravity from your soul and replace it with peace. Commit yourself to being happy, to celebrating your freedom to choose good vibes only. We can choose our emotional channel. We can choose the vibrations that we consume. We can choose what we watch on TV, what we listen to, what we participate in, and the things and the people, places, and things that we associate ourselves with. And so celebrate having the freedom to choose good vibes only. And do that. By choosing good vibes only, you're writing a new story for yourself. Not his story, but your story. I am the unraveler. I came to unravel the endless track that you've been going around since the beginning of time. I'm here to unravel time. Choose good vibrations only, and you write a new story for yourself, a story that is not based in duality. Write a story in which you are living the life that you desire. His story does not have to repeat itself. Understand that everything that has ever been created started as an idea in the mind of the writer. So instead of being a character in his story, become the writer of your own story. And understand that when you write a story, the writer writes several drafts, several copies before they, actually get even that first, even the first paragraph. I might rewrite it 50 times, and you take the paper and you ball it up and you start over. And so that first draft is not going to look anything like the final draft. You might write 100 drafts before you settle on one. So, the first few drafts might have been missing a few characters. The first few drafts needed revising. Maybe the first 100 drafts needed revising. So as the writer of your story going forward, understand that you will have many drafts. And at any time, you can revise the story that you are writing. And each version is going to get better and better, because when you started telling your story, you didn't really have much of an imagination. But once you started to write it, it kind of began to write itself as spirit took the wheel, and the story just began to unravel. So by the time you're writing your final draft, you have the perfect words with which to design your new reality as the writer of your story. In order to design a new reality, you first have to know the universal laws by which you are governed and how to work within those laws. So in my upcoming lives, I am going to be speaking about the 7 Hermetic principles and breaking these down and showing you how we use these to manipulate energy, to defy certain concepts that have kept you stuck in the matrix, but also to go beyond even, understanding the laws of the universe. You cannot decode this reality using the intellect alone. So it's not about studying the science of whatever. It's always, for me, about the art of it. So more than understanding something from an intellectual perspective, I want to know it from an experiential perspective, because you don't know something unless you've experienced it, until you have experienced it. And so you can't decode, especially this new reality, using the intellect alone at all. Your carnal mind is limited to what it believes is possible. But the heart knows that there are infinite possibilities and ways that your desires can manifest. So again, at this point, it's about allowing spirit to take the wheel, honoring yourself. If you take the advice going forward, those of you who have been givers, you are about to receive. You have done the work. And so if you allow spirit to take the wheel, your desires from this point forward will begin to manifest in beautiful and perfect ways under divine grace. And so it is.